All right, so I'm back now with the second clip from the show Good Times in regards to the episode about Black Jesus. And now we're at the most important part of the episode when it comes to the interaction between Michael and his mother, Florida. Let's see what transpires here.
Mama, couldn't we at least let Black Jesus hang alongside?
Forget it. The only Jesus I know is him, and the one thing he don't need is a partner.
Very interesting. But yet, it's interesting and somewhat funny how Florida states that white Jesus does not need a partner. But I bet within certain black households growing up around this time period, um, for those are people who had white Jesus on their wall, to the left and right of that picture on that same wall, 9 times out of 10 there was a picture of both MLK, Martin Luther King, and JFK. So white Jesus definitely had quote unquote partners back then.
Mama, how do we know Jesus wasn't black? He could have been from the lost tribe of Israel. They were supposed to be black.
I bet they were. If ever people were lost, we're it.
Bingo. You see, hey, I'm sure off camera, Jimmy Walker and probably some other people on the set and other celebrities overall, and pretty much people of other races overall know that so-called blacks in America are the real children of Israel according to the Bible. They know this. And that's why it was even a shock to even allow an episode like this to air back in the 70s. And again, they put the truth out there, but just enough of it, so that way it wouldn't cause too much of a revolt. Because just imagine if the full truth came out back then our people would have just revolted and gotten together with the Most High, and chances are we would have gotten back to our homeland much earlier if that had been the case. But yes, he's definitely. But yes, to emphasize the point, yes, in regards to JJ's statement that if there are ever people that were lost, we're it, and that is 100% correct. Because it's true that our people unfortunately suffer from a lack of knowledge, from lack of knowledge of self, our tribal lineage, culture, norms, values, beliefs, traditions, landmass, homeland, everything that encapsulates a people and a nation. That's what's missing in regards to that. And to add to that, Christ definitely was from the lost tribe of Israel. He was from the tribe of Judah.
Now just hush up, both of you. This picture has been in my family for as long as I can remember. When I was a baby, I don't know what I saw first. My mama, my papa, or this Jesus. Now, he's the one I know and love, so let's close the subject.
Jesus was black, the Bible would have said so.
But it does say so.
What are you talking about?
I read about it. It's in Revelations chapter 1, verse 14. I read about it in Muhammad Speaks. It says,
Hey, that was a key piece of information that Michael just put out there. Because prior to this episode even coming into existence, Muhammad, if he's referring to Elijah Muhammad, he, Muhammad Ali, and even Malcolm X, all of them knew. all those cats knew that Jesus Christ was indeed a black man. They all knew. But back then. So, despite the fact that they had a belief that was outside of the Bible, they had the knowledge, not only the knowledge, but the respect to acknowledge the true Messiah for what he really is, as opposed to what the world, particularly through the church system, claims him to be, right? So I gotta say props to the kid.
Is his hair is like wool, and his eyes are like flame of fire.
Oh, Lord have mercy.
Absolutely. And to add to that, yes, his hair was like wool, but it was like wool, like white like a sheep. Whenever you see when you see a sheep covered in wool, it's textured just like that. And his eyes definitely were like a flame of fire, and his feet burnt were burnt like brass. In other words, like out of a furnace. All right, so that definitely shows you right there that that's a black man right there in a nutshell. Not a white man in any way, shape, or form. And I say that not to be racist, but it's just saying it to state a fact.
It sure do say that, don't it?
And see, Mama, look at that hair, like wool, ain't it? And look at them eyes, red like fire.
Yeah, they sure is.
That's another, that's an interesting thing too in regards to the true image of Christ. When you go into, for people who had access to the 14 books called the Apocrypha, within one of those books, the book called Second Esdras, in the 13th chapter, it pretty much lays out how the enemy at that time changed the true image of Christ to the Caucasian version of Christ. So that way they would put themselves in our book. Now, of course, when I say they, I'm talking about Edomites, but more so Edomites from the stock of Amalek, right? And for those who study Bible history all the way down to our history today, knows that Amalek is the father of the Caucasian Jews today. The very same ones who themselves are in your synagogues, the very same ones who are over Hollywood, who created and allowed television shows like Good Times to even air on television. They're over the music, they're over the porn industry, over the cotton industry, over all your media outlets on both the left and right side. So they control all sides, man. So again, I have to point this out because when I say Caucasian Jews, I mean elite level satanic Caucasian Jews, not the average Caucasian Jew who, for the most part, is just really just a convert. So, who practice Judaism. So, it's not them that I focus on. I focus on those at the very top, and that's why it's important to call them out in this regard, within this manner.
Junior, how come you decided to paint this?
I don't know. All of a sudden, I just had divine thoughts on my mind.
Hey, again, brother, divine thoughts on your mind. In other words, divine intervention. As I mentioned in the previous video, that is how the Most High speaks to us from time to time, through visions and through dreams. And that in itself is a great thing, man. Especially when you're in tune. And that right there was an example of how back during biblical times, uh, our people were directly in tune with the Most High. We were able to communicate with Him on a far higher level than we can today. So that's definitely a very intriguing insight.
And for JJ, that's a first.
What, having divine thoughts?
No, having a mind.
I guess I ought to be grateful for JJ having Jesus on his mind in any color.
Then we can hang him on the wall, Mama?
Well, now,
Please, Mama.
All right. But just for Black History Week, after
You see that? Just for Black History Week, and then afterwards he had to come down. And that's an example right there of the Mother Florida, who represents those of our people who hear the truth, but yet reject it in favor of the lies. Because the lies have been so permeated into our psyche, our subconscious, so integrated, not integrated, but more so ingrained within our people that anytime they hear the truth, they'll open up for it just a bit, depending, depending on the person, the people involved. But at the end, they're still going to favor the lies. And this goes back to, again, to what I stated earlier, how the truth about who you are, especially when you're depicted as being everything that you really are, that your oppressors never told you, definitely messes with your psyche, messes with your psychology, it messes with your thought process, and it has you questioning any and everything that you've been taught, to the point where you have no choice but to pretty much have an overall reset. So that's what it comes down to. But anyway, that's it for this breakdown of Black Jesus from the show Good Times. That was I thought it was not only funny, heartwarming, but also overall at the top, at the helm, insightful and informative. Seeing as how, especially throughout the episode, that painting of Black Jesus was a good luck charm. All right, which in itself pretty much illustrates that when you have that that strong, firm belief in faith in Christ, especially the real Christ, things can definitely work out for you in your favor, and you will have much better results because of that. But anyway, that's a wrap. Thanks for watching, and I'm out.